We're going to do 3 hours of I Was Wrong today with a smile on my face. It's Chad and Zay with you after Super Bowl 57, which the Eagles did not win. I'm Chad Hastings. I was the idiot that said they would win. I was wrong. Joined as always by Isaiah Collier. He was the smart man that said the Chiefs would win. He's right. What's up, Zay?
Chad, what's poppin'? I've never heard anybody be so happy to call themselves an idiot.
Woo! I was so wrong. So wrong. I said the Eagles were going to score 37 points. I was close on that. They actually did score 35, but it was not enough because the Chiefs internalized all of that positivity for the Eagles. They internalized everybody like me that picked the Eagles, and they stuck it back in their face, and the Eagles did not win. That temperature you feel today is the Eagles not winning the Super Bowl. It is just a little bit above Eagles not winning the Super Bowl degrees outside. The Eagles are 1-3 in the Super Bowl. I haven't thanked the Raiders lately for that. Thank you, Jim Plunkett and the Raiders, for that first loss in Super Bowl 15 for the Eagles. Second loss for the Eagles. That's the Patriots and Tom Brady. Appreciate you, Tom. Well done. And last night, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs made sure that the Philadelphia Eagles only have the one lone Super Bowl victory. Kansas City wins it. We'll talk about it all throughout the day. This is one of those big unload kind of days when it's, even though it's just one game, the Super Bowl is such a big deal. Obviously, let us know what you thought of the game. Do you have any comments on halftime, commercials, national anthem, anything to do with the game itself? Let us know. Specs text line is 337-3776. Zay, I'll let you start. You were correct. You predicted it. The victory for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. What did you think of Super Bowl 57?
It was incredible. You know, I had no dog in the fight, so all I wanted was a good game, and I got all of that and then some. I know a lot of people, especially Eagles fans, will remember James Bradberry's hold on Juju Smith-Schuster in the fourth quarter, but it was a hold. It is what it is, and shout out to James Bradberry for being a man about the situation and owning up and saying, I did hold. I was just hoping that the refs didn't call it. So he didn't go back and say it was a BS call, this and that. He owned up to it, even though it was in such a big game. We were just talking about Joseph Osai and that late hit that he had on Patrick Mahomes 2 weeks ago, and how all Cincinnati Bengals fans will remember that. Well, if I'm Joseph Osai, I'm feeling pretty damn good right now. You know what I'm saying? But incredible game. Patrick Mahomes, I mean, that's why I chose the Chiefs. He's just special. We've never seen anything like it. And the only thing that sucks about him is that he's a Red Raider. Other than that, I love that he's a Texan. I love how he carries himself. Say what you want about his ignorant-ass daddy who acts like T. Moran. Say what you want about his brother who be dancing on TikToks and stuff and just be thriving in his Patrick Mahomes fame, or his nuts-ass wife who be screaming at the camera the whole time. He's able to block all that out and be one of the best quarterbacks that we've ever seen. Whatever you're thinking like Trent Dilfer, or you're a realist like myself and understand that playing quarterback is the hardest position in all of sports, like he does it, he makes it look as easy as we've ever seen. And that second half last night was just ridiculous. I mean, down by 10, 24-14, you know that they weren't going to be faced. You know that they weren't going to be faced. And the worst thing that the Eagles could have happened to them, with Patrick Mahomes getting hobbled a little bit and toward the end of that second quarter, was that long-ass Super Bowl halftime where he could get that treatment, get whatever injection he needs. You know what I'm saying? It's the Super Bowl. It don't matter. Get whatever you need to be right. I'm not trying to see my old boy who just retired, the backup. I ain't trying to see any Chad Henne.
No Chad Henne.
I ain't trying to see Chad in the game. Yeah. I just ain't. So Patrick Mahomes, the fact that he came back in the game down by 10, Juju Smith-Schuster was terrific. Kadarius Toney, what about that in-season trade? What a steal. What a steal.
Oh, God.
Like, the Giants right now, they couldn't find anything for him. They were basically saying he was a toxic to the team because, you know, he's a little out there. Like, he looks kind of like Lil Wayne a little bit. Like, he has a ton of...
He kind of does.
Right? He just has that, like, you know, that face. He has the grill and stuff. Like, he's out there. And, you know, he came in from Florida. They're like, oh, he raps. He might be a distraction. And, I mean, you got Daniel Jones out there. We know what their coaching staff was in the Giants. So it's not Kadarius Toney's fault. It's about putting them in the right situation. Andy Reid says, "Come on in, young man." And he had that nasty touchdown on that motion rip pass, and then he had one of the best punt returns in Super Bowl history to put them in field position so they could score and take the lead. So, yeah, just big-time plays being made in that game, and Jalen Hurts, that fumble, that really cost him.
Yeah, there's a lot of different plays we'll talk about today. Since you mentioned Kadarius Toney, I'm watching that game as a Cowboys fan, realizing we talked about it all season. That's the move the Cowboys don't make. Those kind of moves the Cowboys will not make. Jerry is scared to make those kind of moves or does not know to make those kind of moves. But, hard to talk about the game without talking about him. And let's go to that. The punt return was awesome, but let's go to that route because they ran it a couple different times. I was trying to think of how many times I've ever seen. Like, I think we all have a concept of what a double move is on a route, but normally that's after the snap. This is something where, and I don't know if Andy Reid gets credit for inventing this. I've heard people say that, and I heard Aaron this morning saying Sark did it a little bit when he was at Bama.
So do you remember Xavier Worthy's touchdown against Iowa State to win the game this past year?
Xavier Worthy.
Quinn Ewers, perfect pass on the money to put them up 21. It was that type of route. I don't know if Xavier Worthy came in motion like those other two guys did, like Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney did, but it was very similar.
Okay, because the Worthy play, that's a good one to bring up, because the Worthy play, to me, I heard that described as a whip route, where you start the route one way and then you come back, but that's after the snap. These last night there's a little before and a little after. The first part of the double move, if you will, is before the ball is snapped, and it's like I think you had a good label for it, but it was like that. The motion was so fast, but it's like 2 or 3 steps, and then the ball is snapped and you go the other way. It's just not a route I've seen very often.
It's genius, because there was one point in the game where they put Kadarius Toney in motion, and then they had Juju on like a wheel route at the same time. And Kadarius Toney, Patrick Mahomes looked at Kadarius Toney kind of on a wheel route while he was going in motion just to look him off. And then that corner stepped up and he hit Juju on that little wheel wide open just to move the chains. Like Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy, they were dealing last night in that second half.
Yeah.
Dealing.
One incompletion for Patrick the whole second half. Amazing. Even that very first touchdown to Travis Kelce. You watch the motion on that play and the way they use it. Travis Kelce started wide on that play. Then he came into the slot, then went back out and ran the fade. And Patrick Mahomes threw a ball on that one. Just incredible. By the way, both quarterbacks I thought had their moments last night.
Jalen Hurts did his thing.
Of incredibly accurate throws. If you tell me Hurts' biggest mistake was going to be with his feet, I would say you're crazy. I figured he would have one slip up, but it would be with his arm. I thought maybe there'd be a couple NFL windows he didn't hit because he's still developing that part of it. But it was, Zay, the sloppiest moment possible. He's just trying to switch the ball from one hand to another. A Chief did nothing to him on that play, and then he just Messi kicked it. Went Cristiano Ronaldo, kicks it, ball popped up to Bolton perfectly, and that's why the halftime lead was 10. And you said it perfectly. Everybody watching that's watched the Chiefs knows, especially the Texans fans. 10 ain't nothing.
Ain't nothing.
Nothing at all. One trip gets them within one score. If you'd had a 24-7 lead at the half, we got a very different discussion because it's 14-7 at that moment. What if they drive and make it 21-7? And then the momentum starts to roll because they were doing what I thought they would do, Zay. They were keeping the football. They went 36 minutes of time of possession. They needed more. They were keeping the ball. They were running the ball. But they didn't end up running it enough, and we'll get into some of that later as well. But that was a critical moment, huge defensive play for the Chiefs, and then Mahomes ends up with the last play because of the penalty you talked about. They get to run the clock all the way down, and then Butker hits the kick, and they're gone.
Just little mistakes. I mean, obviously the Jalen Hurts one was huge, but right before that, you got a 3rd and 1.
Yep.
This is the best offensive line in the league. False start.
Yeah, what are we jumping for?
What are we jumping for?
It's 3rd and a yard.
We know what we're going to do. We're going to do that quarterback sneak that, like, we're 98% on getting this year.
Dude, watching, they get like 8 guys across the line. So what are we nervous for, fellas?
He had to jump. Hey, it's Super Bowl. You hear them flashing lights? You hear them flickers?
That's going to haunt the other Kelsey brother and those offensive linemen for the rest of their lives. I don't know if it was him that jumped.
I don't think.
I think
no,
it was somebody else.
It was someone else.
It's still going to
It was
drive.
the long hair dude.
Okay, it's going to drive them nuts. That's going to drive them crazy because that is such a critical moment. A 3rd and 1 becomes a 3rd and 6, and then you go scoop and score. Now it's 14-all.
0 sacks. Again, that's all we've heard for the last 2 weeks. 70-something sacks. They mirror the 85 Bears. Mike Ditka, Singletary, and the Fridge, and these guys just like that. 0 sacks on Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, no more discussions about that defense with any Tampa defense that was in a Super Bowl, Bears defense, Ravens defense, because those defenses hit quarterbacks a lot. You couldn't feel it last night the way I thought. I was loving it as a Cowboys fan early on. I'm thinking, wait a minute, Kansas City's holding up here. They're holding up. Anze, 6.1 yards per carry. Bravo, Andy Reid. 26 rushes and 27 pass attempts. Andy Reid was, what's that B word that he's never? Oh, yeah, balanced? Andy Reid in a Super Bowl? That's the formula he needed. He outthought Sirianni on multiple levels, in my opinion, and that's one of them. He did with the running game what Sirianni failed to do. 6.1 a carry was big. Pacheco, 5 yards a carry. Mahomes was 7 yards. And McKinnon had 8.5 yards a carry. I thought that was awesome for them to establish it enough to then let Mahomes and Kelsey and those guys go to work.
Isaiah Pacheco's tough.
That's a physical dude.
A physical dude. That's a steal. 7th round pick out of Rutgers. Like, he has an amazing story too, but you got to give love to this Chiefs front office. I mean, when they traded or when they lost Tyreek Hill, basically, everybody was wondering where are they going to get all these yards from? Because Tyreek Hill, he took the top off of you, and then just the threat of him taking the top off and, all those yards after catch type plays, people thought, okay, now that's going to make it easier to guard Travis Kelce. Well, that's not the case either. Travis Kelce is still having one of the best seasons any tight end has ever had this year, 2022. He's getting close to breaking Jerry Rice postseason touchdown record. Like, that's absurd, but if 15 wasn't the quarterback, he wouldn't be getting that.
Yeah.
But still, the run that Patrick Mahomes had on that last drive on the bum ankle, 22 yards for the first down. Like, they're going to be showing that run like they showed Elway, the little helicopter hit.
Yeah.
They're going to be showing that. That's what I thought of when he ran.
That's a good comp.
I thought, man, that just reminds me of that legendary moment because we know he had the bum ankle. We know he was grimacing right before halftime, and he was kind of slamming the helmet on the floor.
That was a crazy moment. Yeah.
That was a crazy moment, and
that's when I wasn't happy as a Cowboys fan because I thought, this may really.
This is it.
I thought it might be done at that point.
Yeah, I thought this was it, and just some of the throws that guy made in the second half. I saw this stat on NFL Network. Shout out to NFL Network for this. Patrick Mahomes was 8 of 13 before he took that hit and got injured. After that, 13 for 14.
Ooh, mercy.
Yeah.
No, it just the toughness there to grit through everything. That was big. We're getting texts in already on the Specs text line 337-3776. This says the Philly field goal they settled for after the half was a killer. Got all the way down to the KC 20, ran 3 trash plays, and had to kick. That was big. When it was 24-21, and they couldn't get it back to a 10-point lead, that was massive.
Because that's deflating. Like, that's the longest drive in Super Bowl history, and it comes up with 3 points.
Yeah.
17 plays, 60 yards, 7 minutes and 45 seconds, and you only get 3 points.
That's bad. Yep, that's bad. You end up with a player that had 3 rushing touchdowns in the game, ties the Super Bowl record. Terrell Davis of the Broncos was the other one.
Right.
Terrell won the game and the MVP, by the way. Jalen Hurts didn't. He didn't win the game or the MVP, but he had 3 rushing touchdowns. So some of that element of it felt like it was there. I just didn't feel like they established their other running backs near enough. One other play to mention in this first segment, Zay, since we're giving Mahomes and Kelsey their love, I think it's on the drive that made it 24-21. It was a first down and 10 play, so it's not going to get noticed. But that play where Mahomes damn near got sacked and damn near fell down, and then threw the ball, and Kelsey
The low ball.
had to go to the turf to grab it. I think I can't remember if they got the actual first down out of it or just 9.5.
Yeah, I think it was a first down.
I think he was right at the number. That was a silly play, both ways.
Yeah, because, okay, so now Patrick Mahomes is hurt. You're coming out of halftime. Andy Reid got Patrick Mahomes under center more. So now those play action shots, like they were doing some stuff like old school type of stuff where two backs in the backfield, I forgot the formation, but two backs in the backfield where they pitch it to Pacheco and he had that long run and stuff. Like Andy Reid kind of went against the grain and showed the Eagles some things that we probably haven't seen in a while that they definitely didn't see on tape leading up to that point.
Yeah.
And it allowed to really get those guys going. But that was the same drive that Patrick Mahomes made that play you were referring to. Travis Kelce, hell of a catch, man. That low-ass pass. And then he hit Watson on another first down going across the middle. Patrick Mahomes was on the move. Just immaculate play. And, yeah, he should be talked about with the greats. 2 MVPs, 2 Super Bowl champs. And, we talked about it last week. The last MVP to win the Super Bowl was Kurt Warner. It's been a minute. There have been a lot of quarterbacks that have been MVP in the Super Bowl since then. It's been a minute.
Yeah, I didn't realize that it had been, is it 9 in a row it lost the game? 9?
Something like that. That sounds right.
Yeah, 9 MVPs in a row that had gone to the game, then lose the game.
Brady, Peyton.
Oh, huge names. Yeah, exactly. That was incredible. And then so he breaks that string. Somebody else mentions Dallas Goedert was making some crazy catches. We mentioned him on Friday. I thought he was going to steal my soul last night as a Cowboys fan. I'm like, dadgummit, 88, stop it. He was making catch after catch. I still think there were a couple really close ones last night I'm trying to think. He got credit for that catch where they gave him like the half a left toe, and I'm not sure if he was really down.
That was weird. It took a minute.
That one, I don't know if it was a catch. And then the one down the sideline, too. Was that Devontae Smith down the sideline?
Yes.
That one was so close. I could have lived with that one going either way. I guess the movement was enough that he didn't catch it. I thought that was a damn good effort, though. I would have been okay if they called that a catch.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a hell of a play.
In 2 games, Devontae Smith got the ball.
Hell of a play, man. Those guys were making plays all over the field. It was a hell of a Super Bowl. Certainly one of the better ones that we've probably seen in a while now. When we get one of these good, close Super Bowls, a lot of people like to flip out immediately. It's the greatest. Calm down. Just breathe. It was a good one, though. To keep it that close, the fact that the game had a good back and forth, both quarterbacks play well, 103.4 on the rating for Hurts, and he loses the game, but just little mistakes. The fumble was a massive mistake, but then twice as many penalties, 6-3, and in big spots for the Eagles. I thought that was huge too. And we've had people texting in. It's all about those moments of not getting touchdowns. When you settle for field goals against the Chiefs, you're asking for it. We mentioned the one in the second half. Somebody else is bringing up, what about right before the half? A.J. Brown makes that great play for the Eagles, but they end up settling for a field goal.
That's right.
If you score there, it's a different world, too. You could have counteracted the defensive play in a way by going back up 28-14, but they couldn't do that. So a lot of big plays in this game, and we'll continue to talk about it throughout the show.
Yo, Chad, before we go, one of the biggest plays of the game was the no holding call or pass interference call in the early, when was it? Was it the second quarter or was it the first quarter? Second quarter, around 13-31. Where James Bradbury held Juju Smith-Schuster on like a slant up the middle. It was on the 3rd down play. No call. No call. Juju Smith-Schuster, he threw kind of a fit there.
And you're thinking he might have gotten the call later?
He jumped up and down like Evander Holyfield did when he got bit by Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
He did like kind of one of those, and the refs were like, we'll get you back. Oh, boy, did they ever.
Okay.
It was kind of one of those, we will not make that mistake again, Juju.
So you're telling me on the actual play in question, when Juju was pointing out to that official to say, am I lined up right? He was also pointing to say,
Good looking out.
You see who's on me?
Yeah.
You see who's on me?
Yeah, good looking out. So Bradbury got away with one there, but when it cost him at the end, got your ass.
Yeah, we'll talk about that play as we roll on through. If you did think it was a hold, let us know. If you thought they shouldn't call it there because it's such a big moment, that's a discussion that comes up in those situations. We'll talk about it as we roll through.